What is a good conversation? Because I believe good conversations are going to be essential for the world we're moving into, because we all need to make sense of the world. And we're not doing a good job at the moment. And that's not our fault. That's because of social media and polarization and the race to the bottom of the brainstem and everything else. There's a load of mini docuseries on YouTube, and there's a load of, like, watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. And all of that creates bad faith conversations. Creates conversations where information is offered so that you buy a product, or so that you respect, or so that you follow orders, or so that you do whatever else. But the information is there for an alternative purpose. So I give you beauty, and I give you music, and all of these good feelings so that you buy a drink. And nowhere in this conversation have I mentioned what's in the drink, or if it's good, or if it's bad, or whatever else. Hopefully it just doesn't kill you. Isn't that it? And that's advertising. And there's so much advertising in our information ecosystem that we've kind of internalized it. So now even how we talk to each other, we're trying to get our friends out, or just forget about it, like just on Instagram or any of those things. We put a certain version of our lives up so that you respect us, so that you admire us, so that you maybe buy the product or whatever else it is. And the irony is not lost on me, because at the end of this video, I will ask you to hit like and hit subscribe. So we all do it, and let's be aware of it. So it's not good for a good faith conversation, because a good faith conversation are the conversations where things open up, where there's a flow, where you open up, your story opens up. Either you share information that you didn't expect to share, but then they reflect back on that in a new way that lets you kind of unfold a little bit more and delve deeper into your own self. And that's the exchange. That's the back and forth of a good conversation. So last week we did the 5 steps of a healthy, good conversation. And that's really good. It breaks you out of the bad faith conversation styles of humor is not really bad faith, but it can be kind of a gotcha moment, or can be whatever else. But also the judgment of, you use this word, you use the word hate, so you must hate the person. Or you use the word admire, so that person must be really good. Even though you can admire a parent and they can not be that good. Or you can hate a friend and they can be a beautiful soul. Because what we really need to understand for a good faith conversation, for this opening up, what we need to understand is that the words are a description, they're a map, they're an attempt, because the map is not the territory. You have, as a person, you have a whole perspective here, and you're trying to convey it in a few little words. And you have to understand, when you're meeting each other at this level, that both of you are bigger, and allowing the space for that. So there's 2 ways to do this, because the thing is, when it gets awkward, when you do open up the space and you just don't know what to say, and the other person isn't filling the gap either because it's hard for them to talk, and it's just like, oh crap. And maybe you've been there. If you're really trying to have good faith conversations the whole time, I can guarantee you've been there. And the thing is to ask, or else to share. So ask about the moreness. You use this word, you use the word hate. What do you mean by that? Give me more on that. And say, how does that feel? Even when you're talking about it, I can see your body. I can see whatever else. It's like, explain more, elaborate more. Or the same alternatively. So there's more and there's the same. And we are in between. We are in that tunnel in between, because if you think you have it, if you think that the map is now perfect and you totally understand it, then you have lost the map. Because every time you use words, it is always narrowing. So you have to understand that. But either way, so we can ask for moreness, we can ask for expand, explain, all of this stuff. Or we can offer sameness. And we can say, when you say that, when you use the word hate, I feel a certain way. That's a bit moreness maybe. When you use the word hate, that reminds me of when I use the word hate in a different situation. Or reminds me of a different story, or a mythological story, or reminds me of an animal. You sound like a tiger going through a forest just ready to rip. You sound like a German shepherd in like the bad stereotype of a German shepherd that we think of. That's what I'm feeling right now. And it's the sameness. And by offering that, you're not trying to say, this is who you are, this is you, I got you, you are this thing. You were trying to say, that sounds similar, sounds the same as this. And it offers the space to elaborate, to say, because what a good faith conversation is constantly giving details to explain the more, giving details to explain the more, and that's how the conversation goes across. So pulling that apart is exactly what you need to do. If you get caught in the details, then bring out, say, explain, you use a specific word here, explain it. And then once it gets up, then you're going to bring it back down. Just like, hey, when you say that, it reminds me of something. And that's a style of conversation. If it gets awkward in a good faith conversation, I feel like understanding that you can go same or you can go more. But really what I want you to get in this video is that if you mistake the map for the territory, you've lost the game. Because then it stops becoming a good faith conversation. So good faith conversation is always understanding that the map, the words, whatever else, the communication is never it. It is never science. It's not. It's an art. It's the art of conversation. So you're getting an approximation. You are getting a whole perspective narrowed down into a few words. And hopefully, if you do that a load of times, you'll start getting this beautiful tapestry that will allow you to imagine the actual original perspective. But if you think you have it, you've lost it. So, as promised, I will ask you to hit the like button and hit the subscribe, because I want the respect and I want the admiration and I want all of these other things. So give me. Oh dear. But hey, at least we can laugh about this stuff. So that is it for this week. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.